Every single day, billions of us are out there navigating this massive digital universe. But have you ever stopped to think about what the map of that universe actually looks like? Well, today, using the very latest data, we're going to chart the internet's most popular destinations. And I promise you, we're going to uncover some surprising truths about where we all spend our time online. Yeah, it sounds like a simple question, right? Where does the world really go online? But the answer, oh man, the answer tells us so much about our collective priorities, our curiosities, and our habits. You might think you know the big names, but as we're about to see, the full picture is way more fascinating. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's just start with the sheer scale. Take a look at this number, 97.23 billion. That's not a typo. That's how many visits the #1 website on the planet gets every single month. And of course, that site is Google.
Yeah, a number like that, it puts Google in a totally different league. We're talking about a very, very small club here, what I like to call the undisputed top tier. These are the true foundations of the web as we know it today.
Just look at this chart for a second. The drop-off is absolutely staggering. Google isn't just winning the race, it's practically lapping everyone else. I mean, YouTube, its closest competition, gets less than half its traffic. And then it's another huge nosedive to get to Facebook. The gap at the top is just immense. So what does this actually mean? Well, it tells us that our digital lives, for the most part, are built on just three things: searching for stuff, watching videos, and connecting with each other. In a way, pretty much everything else we do online just kind of orbits around these three core activities.
All right, so that's the bedrock, the foundation. But the internet is way bigger than that, right? So let's look at the next layer of our map. This is where we find the new digital neighborhoods, the bustling town squares of social media, and now AI, where culture gets made and the big conversations happen.
And no surprise here, we've got all the usual suspects. Instagram, Reddit, X, TikTok, they're all drawing in billions of people. Each one offers a slightly different way to connect and share, and they really do act as the digital public squares of our time. But wait a second. If you look closely, tucked right in there with all these familiar names, there's something new, something different, a destination that has just rocketed up the charts like nothing we've ever seen before.
And boom, there it is, ChatGPT. It's already #4 in the entire world, and that little arrow tells you everything you need to know. It's still climbing. With over 5.4 billion visits a month, this isn't just a trend, it's a massive shift. AI has gone from being just a tool to a place people go.
Okay, but our map of the internet isn't all about the big, shiny household names. If you dig a little deeper into the data, you start to find these surprising contenders. The internet's hidden highways that are just as packed with traffic as the main roads. So let's do that. Let's just strip away all our assumptions for a minute and ask, what does the raw data say? What are the places that are super popular but maybe aren't talked about at the dinner table?
Well, the numbers don't lie. Look at this. 2 of the top 12 spots, they belong to adult entertainment sites. That's a huge, often unspoken part of internet traffic. Then you've got DuckDuckGo at #15, which shows a lot of people really care about privacy. And right there at 17, the e-commerce upstart, Temu. It's a pretty clear look at the wild diversity of sites that pull in huge traffic. Seeing DuckDuckGo on that list is actually a great reminder. Yeah, Google is the king, no question, but the whole business of finding information online, it's a full-on global battle with a bunch of different players.
This table really puts it all into perspective. I mean, Google's a giant, sure, but you've still got old-school brands like Yahoo hanging in there, global players like Bing, the privacy-first option with DuckDuckGo, and even huge regional powerhouses like Russia's Yandex, all serving billions of searches. The search market is so much more interesting than most people think. Okay, so we've mapped out where everyone's going, but what do they do when they get there? Let's try to decode our digital behavior by looking at a couple of really important metrics that tell us a lot about how we engage with these sites. All right, first up, bounce rate. The easiest way to think about this is like digital window shopping. A high bounce rate means someone shows up, looks at one thing, and then they're gone. They bounce right out without clicking any further. And the difference from site to site can be absolutely wild. On one end, you have Pornhub with the lowest bounce rate of the whole list. At under 23%, it's pretty clear people who go there, well, they stick around and explore.
But on the total opposite end of the spectrum, you've got WhatsApp's website. And that makes total sense, right? You probably go there for one thing, like downloading the app, and then you're out.
Okay, our second metric is pages per visit. And this one's super simple. It just measures how deep you go into a website. Are you just dipping your toes in, or are you diving down a rabbit hole of content?
In this chart shows it perfectly. Sites that are designed for you to get lost in, like Xvideos and YouTube, people are clicking through almost 9 pages on average. But a simple search portal like Yahoo, you're looking at maybe 2.5 pages. It's the perfect way to see the difference between a destination and a doorway.
So we've seen the extremes, but what's normal? Well, across all these top-tier websites, the average bounce rate is right around 46%. Just think about that for a second. Almost half of all visits to the world's biggest websites are over after looking at just one page.
So, let's step back. We've drawn this whole map of our digital world. When you put it all together, what does it all mean? What's the real story here? I think it really boils down to 3 big things. First, search and video aren't just features on the internet, they are the giant, dominant continents. Second, AI is the fastest growing new territory we've seen in a long time. It's quickly becoming a major destination. And finally, the data shows us something really interesting. Our public social lives and our private browsing habits, they both pull in massive, massive audiences, painting a much more complete picture of who we are online.
And that just leaves us with one last question to chew on. This map we've looked at, this is the internet of today. But with things like AI changing so fast, what in the world is this map going to look like in, say, 5 years? What new continents are out there just waiting to be discovered?